Hello, everyone, and happy New Year. 2026 is here.
It
And
is. Finally.
right, finally. And it's funny because although we're in a new year,
Mhm.
our work is still the same, right? But tonight, I really want us to really focus on resetting and
Mhm.
renewing our mindset as it pertains to us as parents, as well as it pertains to what plans we have for our children. So tonight it's going to be a real uplifting, engaging conversation about how we make that happen for, in school terms we call it, for the new semester, right?
Right.
So it's like a new year, but not necessarily a new school year. The school year is continuing,
Right.
but it's a new semester and a new opportunity to make goals for our children and for ourselves, as to where we want to see them at the end
Right.
of the semester.
Yes. It's so definitely an opportunity to reset and just move forward with clarity and confidence. Because I think the start of every new year, any semester, really, it's there's hope. Like you're going into it hopeful that everything's going to turn out great.
Awesome. And for Jen, for you and I, there are a lot of people who are listening who already know us, but
Hmm.
for the people who don't know us and for who are new to our platform, I'm going to go ahead and introduce and reintroduce myself.
Okay.
So I am Dr. Cecelia Lynch Mitchell. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. I work in the school system, in one of the largest school systems in Georgia. And I also have a private clinic where I serve children and families um, in a medical based model. And with over 25 years of experience working with children with disabilities and learning differences, I've seen that school success doesn't come from academics alone, right? There's so much that goes into having our children be successful. And so Jen and I, we teamed up together just last year
Yes.
to really to be here to support children and their parents and their family and their immediate community. So Jen, go ahead and introduce yourself for the
Yeah,
new.
well, to add to that, it's also supporting each other because we're
Oh my
having these
goodness.
conversations.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yes. And
yes.
Jen and I, we really support each other. We really support each other. So yes. So not just us supporting you guys out there. We support each other and we are forming a community.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you guys more about how to join our community later on. But yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so my name is Jennifer, and I have two boys. One with autism, my oldest one, he's 10, and then I have my youngest one who is 7, and he's been diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD. Also, my eldest has been diagnosed with ADHD as well, which is very common. And I am a single working mom, and I am passionate about helping others just get through parenting because it takes a village, and you're not alone. So I just want to share that, and I have such a great relationship with Dr. Cecilia that it just naturally came together.
Amazing. And we're here and we have gotten so many responses from people who definitely have reached out to us for us to just guide them in daily things. Sometimes it has nothing to do with school
Right.
necessarily, but it has to do with how do I get my child to eat better? How do I get my child to be able to con well, I don't want to use the word conform, but how do I get my child to follow
Why?
certain rules, right? So yeah, absolutely. So we're here, and I brought up the word conform, and today, I was thinking about how I've seen on like Instagram and TikTok, there are parents who they're struggling and they have channels that describe their struggles, which I guess the purpose of their channel is to maybe help other families with neurodivergent children be able to navigate life, right?
Right.
And so they have these channels. But one thing that I've noticed as I'm going through, like just scrolling through and looking at a lot of the parents' posts,
Right.
and one theme I think came to my mind as I was looking through parents who are struggling because their child or children are neurodivergent is that I think as a whole, we as parents who are trying to help our neurodivergent child
Yeah.
be able to conform to a school system that wasn't really designed for them,
Right.
right? I feel like we're parents are beating up ourselves. Like we want our child to be able to do this and do this, but we're not remembering that these systems were not really created for our children in mind,
Right.
right? So I'm going to say this to parents now: stop beating up yourself trying to get your child to fit into this mold that is the school system, or
Right.
even the educational system on a whole. And I know it's a struggle for parents. And I can tell you too, it's a struggle for teachers who are in the school system who are realizing this format that we have
Right.
is not built for children who are neurodivergent. It was never built for them. And so I want to give parents some kind of ease tonight. Guys, don't try to mold your kids to fit into the traditional school system. It's like you're going to be beating your head against the wall.
Right.
Schools are not ready. They're not ready yet. I can tell you that I see a lot of changes coming, but schools, the regular classrooms, even the structure with the furniture and everything in the room, our children cannot and will never be able to be 100% um, fitting in because their systems are not built to that rigid that rigid structure of school. And I think as more parents think about that, they will start to understand that, yeah, I'm really stressing a lot here when I don't need to be stressing. Let's find alternatives to get our children to thrive and still be successful and still be educated, because that is possible. However, it's going to take a shift in our mindset.
Right.
That
Yeah, definitely. Shifting your mindset and just understanding that, you know, like you said, that the system was not built around children, special needs children, and understanding that everyone's kind of learning together.
absolutely. And so as we move into this new phase with School Life Ready Talks with our support. we are also adding different a different program which looks at the child, him or herself.
Right.
Our program mostly focuses on helping children to develop skills needed to be able to perform within the school system, right? Or to be able to perform within the classroom, whether you're in a public school or a private school, or even if you're homeschooling. But the good thing about our program is that it the program is tailored to meet your child's needs, and it's tailored to understand that before you can even talk about academics,
Yeah.
you have to make sure that the body and the brain are primed to be able to perform. So moving forward with School Life Ready Talks, we will be talking a lot about supporting homeschool parents and supporting private school parents so that everyone can help their child regardless
Hmm.
of whatever educational structure they're in, right? Because
Right.
parents need support across the board.
Yeah, definitely parents. And they also, parents need to keep in mind that you don't have to do everything at once, and small changes create big shifts. And just, appreciating those little miracles is, what I like to preach, but it's true. Celebrate the little wins.
Right. And the thing, Jen and I were here, and the thing is, you can always reach out to us at schoollifeready@gmail.com for now. You can send us emails, and any question you have, anything that we can do to support you, we'll be more than happy to reach back out to you and provide you with the support, because we understand, Jen understands it from having her own children, from navigating getting her children to get all the therapies that they need, the ones that she has to pay out of pocket for, the ones that insurance covers, the ones that need to be done at home, the ones that need to be done in school, the one that she needs to go to special programs. There's so much involved in taking care of our children with special needs, that sometimes you do need that person that
Right.
you can turn to and just ask a question. On the show, we have had several people who have come on to tell us about different resources that are out there for you. And we continue to put our bank of resources together so that you can definitely be able to access these resources and share them once you find them. That's one thing, guys. Here we talk about sharing all the time. Like, nothing you get, you're supposed to keep to yourself. You're
Right.
supposed
No
to share it.
gatekeeping.
No gatekeeping, no
Right.
keeping. You learned about something. Don't feel like, oh my goodness, if I let everyone know, the resources are going to run out. Don't do that. Go ahead and share with other parents who who are in the community, who are in this parent of a child with disability community, or parent of a neurodivergent child community. So definitely, let's continue to share all the
Right.
information.
And that's just also bringing awareness to the community and having people, want to give or do more within their own communities for children, with different needs. We want this to be a place where parents feel seen and heard and supported, not judged, and just understanding that we're here. We're walking alongside you.
Absolutely. So now that we've established who we are and why we're here, I also want to remind parents that before you can take care of your children, you have to take care of yourself. You're not going to be able to give your children your all if you're not giving yourself anything, right?
Right.
So it's very, very important that moving forward, I want parents to be very mindful of their actions and taking into consideration their how y'all are feeling, parents. And you need to come up with little things that you can do to, to help yourself regulate, right? We talk about regulating the children all the time, but I can tell you that when parents are self-aware and they too are regulated, they mimic those behaviors for their children will mimic those behaviors. So it's called mirroring, wherein when you act a certain way, then you get your kids to act a certain way. It's if your kid is being high and loud, it doesn't make sense you're high and loud too. It won't work.
Right.
It won't work. And Jen, I know you have had a lot of experience with that.
A lot of experience. I definitely know that even when I try, to contain my anxiety, they definitely do feel it through like my pores, the energy. So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that when I'm depleted, everything feels harder.
Hmm.
That's when I stop mentally and physically, and I just, show up differently for my kids. And that would be like having a day where we're in pajamas all day and just in my bed watching TV, because I've timed out, like I'm done, and
Hmm.
that's okay to do.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the other thing. You parents, you don't have to always be go go go.
Yeah,
It doesn't, because if you're go 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 all the time too, then you're gonna be burnt out. You're gonna be burnt out. So really, really not really, really prioritizing.
prioritize yourself as well is what
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I think parents should start. I think as parents, like we always go like, "Oh, I'm going to do everything in my power for my child."
hmm
But rarely do we hear parents say, "I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I am happy and healthy." Like.
yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah,
definitely, I get it. I'm the parent that would take off my, shirt to give to my child. So, and I think most parents are that way. It's hard
yes.
not to be.
Yes, most parents are that way, but we're going to have to. We're not saying neglect the children. I'm not.
Right. Yeah, not at all. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But prioritize yourself. Prioritize your well-being. Prioritize your regulation. Right. That's what I want parents to understand moving forward. Before we get into our next episodes of how to help our child.
Yeah.
This episode is really to get you to reframe things, like how we
hmm
look at things, prioritize the importance of certain things, and remember to take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. There are little things that you can do like on a daily basis, wherein you're doing little things. And as Jen said earlier, it's sometimes the little things that matters.
Right.
So a huge part of my job as a therapist is really to help you change your mindset around your child's functioning and your daily life, because many parents come to us exhausted. and questioning themselves. So I want to reset the narrative, right? You're not failing.
Right.
Your child is not broken,
Right.
right? And getting support or even asking for support is a sign of strength. So it's very important that parents, you get that mindset wherein you are just relaxing a little bit about what's going on with your child
Right.
and knowing that everything will be okay. You just take things in stride. Don't look and say, oh, you see your neighbor or another family member who might have a child with a disability or might not have a child with a disability, and they're doing certain things. They're like, oh, so and so is doing that, or so and so is getting that. That's okay. Focus on you and your needs and what you need to make yourself well and what your child needs. Don't compare yourself to another family or to another parent or your child to another child. Comparison steals joy. Right.
Yes.
So let's just focus on our child, your specific child and your family's needs. And it's not being selfish, it's being self-aware, right? So we definitely want to do that.
For sure. And that could be as easy as not, it doesn't have to be the neighbor. It could be some family that you're following on Instagram or YouTube. Don't compare yourself to those families either.
And you know what? That's a great point, Jen, because I started off telling you how I saw all these Instagram posts of parents crying, how um and I understand there's a grieving process
For
when
sure.
you realize that your child may have a disability.
Mm-hmm.
There's a grieving process. There's a sense of loss
Yeah.
because our mind is so we're thinking about the norm, right? What is the norm? Kids go to school and they start kindergarten at 5. Kids get potty trained by 3. Like there are certain norms that's in our head, and when we see that our child is not meeting with those norms, we have a sense of loss, and that is natural. But what's not natural is for you to stay there and be in the grieving process forever. So it's important for parents to really sometimes, and I do this a lot as when I work with children. I tell the parents, listen, don't focus on what your child can't do. Focus on what your child can do. Find the joy in the little things, because I can tell you this. A lot of times there's so much joy there and so much stuff to be appreciated for, but we're so busy looking at what is not fitting into the societal norms. And I can tell you, parents, it gets all of us. It gets all of us. It gets to me too. It gets to me too. Because we have certain expectations that's ingrained in us due to our culture and our societal norms. And when you're trying to measure up to all of this, it can cause strife. So with Jen and I, with our coaching and with our mentoring for our families, we really try to help parents to see the brighter side of things and not be too focused on what's missing, you know?
Right. And you also don't want to adopt that personality. It can be easy to just have that be your whole life. So definitely try, to be, have some self-care. Self-care shouldn't be optional, is what I'm trying to say. You should definitely take care of yourself and have your own identity, because there's so much going on that you can get lost in, have that be your everything.
Yeah, so I would advise parents to start off with just doing maybe short daily walks, movement.
Or
Um,
journaling what you feel like while you're grieving.
Definitely. Make sure that you're getting sleep. And I know sometimes for a lot of parents, especially parents with children who don't sleep well at night, the parents also don't sleep well at night. So sometimes really looking into your bedtime routines and seeing how you can really prioritize getting sleep. Sleep is very, very important. Um, Sometimes we get so caught up where we have all this stuff on our minds. Like just sometimes journaling, just write stuff down, just let it flow, let it come out. That can be a real de-stressing thing. And definitely seek support instead of trying to do everything by yourself. You ask your family members for help, don't be afraid. For Ask your spouses, or your, if you're not with someone, ask the child's other parent. Co-parenting is key to a lot of times when when there's only one parent, it's harder. And I know, like Jen, she's an old single parent, and that's why she finds so much connection with me and other parents, because she's a single parent. It would be harder if she was navigating all this by herself. So reach out to us, reach out to anyone who have offered you to support you and seem like they really would. Don't be afraid to ask for support. um, you have to take care of yourself. You definitely have to take care of yourself.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep going. And we all need support. So, whatever that looks like, don't be afraid to ask. I think that we're supposed to be in community. We're not meant to be so isolated, if you will.
Absolutely. So for tonight, we are going to have a little closing affirmation. Tonight was a short episode, and we have decided that we will keep the episodes out of respect for your time. We will definitely keep it as short as possible and try to be as impactful as possible. So make sure that you keep sending us your emails with your questions so we can make sure that when we get on, we can target them as much as possible. So for tonight, we're going to be closing out because I think we have made our message clear that moving forward, we're going to be focusing both on parents and on children. So it's not just about focusing on parents being able to support their child, but also we're going to be giving you tips and ideas of how to help your child physically and mentally, so that it's going to be like a cycle, right? You help the child and we help you help the child. So it's just it's just going to be a great community. Before we go into the affirmation, Jen, do you have anything to say before I go into the affirmation for tonight?
Yeah, I want to say that, I wish everyone a happy new year. Like, I hope that everyone's starting off on a great foot and that they have clear communication with their teachers going into the second semester.
Awesome. And next week, we will pick back up on getting your child eligible for special ed. and we will be helping parents who are homeschooling to
Yeah.
see if their children are having any difficulty in terms of physical and social emotional development, because the issue with homeschooling, a lot of times parents don't really have strategies for maybe behaviors, or maybe don't have strategies for physical development if that's needed. So we're here for homeschooling parents as well. Please send us your questions. So before we close tonight, we want to leave you with this reminder. You are doing more than you realize. I know a lot of times you parents, we feel like we're not doing enough, but we're doing more than we realize. Supporting a child through school challenges takes courage, patience, and love. You do not need to have everything figured out today. Small, thoughtful steps matter. It doesn't have to be huge. Small, thoughtful steps matter. When you care for yourself as a parent and you care for your own body and mind, you strengthen your ability to support your child.
Right.
So that is the takeaway for tonight. All right, guys, we will see you next week on School Life Ready Talks. And we have for you the parent self care kit that you can email us at schoollifeready@gmail.com and in the subject line, put self care kit, and we will get that to you so that you can go ahead and start practicing your self care. All right, guys, have a good night,
Good
and
night.
we will see you soon. All right, good night, y'all.
Good night. Bye.